I thank Senator Schumer for yielding time. You know, I listened to my colleagues on this debate, and I'm reminded of a great Republican, President Reagan, who said, "There they go again. There they go again." I always find it incredibly interesting when some of my most conservative colleagues quote the ACLU. Then I know something is amiss. Let me just say that what's the vote that's going to take place? The vote is simply to allow to go forward and have a debate, offer amendments, and ultimately have a final vote on the bill. That's what this vote is all about. So those who say, therefore, transparency won't even let a process to move forward that is transparent, that we could have a debate so the American people could decide, do we want corporations, including foreign corporations, to have access to who is elected in America, in this body, in the Congress, and ultimately making decisions that affect their lives each and every day. That's what this vote is all about. You can paint it any way you want, but that's what this vote is about. And I am amazed that they cannot even say yes to proceeding to a debate, and a vote on the merits of the bill itself. Now, we all know that the Roberts Supreme Court and its activist conservative majority overruled, wrongly in my view, restrictions on spending by corporations and unions. Now, my colleagues on the other side are well aware that as a result of a perceived loophole in current law, foreign corporations, those from other countries, would now be allowed to fund American election campaigns to pick their candidates that would reflect their interests if elected, or defeat candidates who would not reflect their interests, all without any meaningful mechanism or disclosure. Amazing. Amazing. It's absurd. Nothing could be more ill-advised or misguided. But here we are, once again, unable to even proceed to consider a bill that would remedy that situation. Once again, my Republican friends are standing in the way of proceeding to a bill in what I consider to be good governance, all in the name of those in their party who hold to some misguided attempt to twist First Amendment rights to suit an ideologically based argument that somehow a requirement to disclose. You still can spend the money. Nobody's going to stop you from spending the money, but you have to disclose who's behind that contribution. I don't think transparency is something that violates the First Amendment. It is the right of the American people to receive the information required by these proposed disclosure laws. And then they twist it even further, virtually saying that all money anywhere, even foreign money, is somehow free speech in American elections. I don't think the American people think that. I think the American people want to be the ones in control of who they elect to Congress to decide the issues of the day in their lives, not someone who is backed by some foreign corporation. Imagine if BP could say, you know, I don't like Senator Menendez's lifting that liability cap. I don't want to be liable for more than $75 million, even though I've created billions of dollars in costs. Let me fund candidates who agree that Senator Menendez's legislation to lift the liability cap to unlimited liability should be the ones to get elected, because they're going to take care of what? BP, a foreign corporation. Imagine if the insurance industry said, let's go fund, we don't have to even put our face on that announcement, on that advertisement. Let's go fund those candidates who will allow us, the insurance industry, to continue to deny people who have a pre-existing condition in this country the opportunity to get health insurance. A child born at birth that somehow has a defect and now can't get health insurance. The father who had a heart attack on the job and can't get health insurance. Let's fund those candidates that will ensure that we as an industry don't have to insure those individuals. Imagine those companies on Wall Street who don't like the new law that we just passed and want to see it roll back so they can continue to have the excesses that almost brought this nation to economic collapse. Let's go fund those candidates who will allow us to have not a free market, but a free-for-all market. That's what this law is all about. That's what this vote is all about. So I believe that the people of New Jersey that I represent and elsewhere
Senator's
want
time
disclosure.
has expired.
And finally, disclosure takes place by knowing who is giving this money.
My colleague would like an additional 2 minutes because there are no members of the other side on the floor. I'd be happy to yield it to
I
her.
appreciate it. Look, the bottom line is I want Americans to decide American elections. I don't want some foreign company funding candidates that ultimately enhance their views. I don't want big business deciding elections on the basis of their corporate interests versus on the basis of the people's interest. That's what this bill is all about. I can't understand the fear that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle have to simply let us go to a full debate and an up or down vote. An up or down vote. Look, if this law is poorly drafted and the majority of the Senate votes against it, so be it. But not even to allow us to go to that debate, to stop foreign corporations, to stop foreign influence in our elections, to allow the BPs of the world to influence the way in which we'd have any Gulf cleanup or any future Gulf cleanup, to allow insurance industry to deny people based on pre-existing conditions, to allow Wall Street to run wild, on and on. Fundamentally wrong. That's what this debate is all about. That's what this vote's going to be all about. And I appreciate the gentleman yielding extra time. I yield back the balance of whatever time I have.